Alrighty, welcome back. I'm your man Bad Chad, and this is Kenny, and Queen Jolene is on the camera. We're going to do a part 2 on this one because it's just taking a little while because I want to look at the stuff that's going on. So we're just going to carry on from the bikes and carry right on through here, and you're going to take me where we're going.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Back to the workshop.
This is the engine that we saw at
Corralbin.
I'm glad you said it first.
You were having trouble with it.
Yeah, I am having trouble with it. This little engine, the startup, Kenny did on that, I think is a little over almost 1.5 million views. And it's pretty cool.
It's pretty 392.
Cool. Yeah.
Vintage 392. Nearly everything that you see on there would be in a speed shop if you walked into it to take your pick of the top shelf gear in the 60s.
Okay.
Basically.
So the blower will be from the 60s?
Yeah.
Everything is kind of from that era?
Magnesium, Mooneyham, Hillborn, 4-port, 392 Hemi. Bit of crocodile on there.
Bit of crocodile on there. Cool.
Old school filters like aircraft military style fuel filters and things. So a lot of hot rods back in 50s and 60s were built. A lot of them were ex-military people, you know, and they had access to maybe out of date or earlier equipment for planes and ships and vehicles, and they would utilise them in their hot rod builds, basically. Cool. A lot of good quality parts that way.
We've got another engine over here as we walk through.
Yeah, this is 30s.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 spark plugs on this one. So we're thinking it's a V12.
For V12 flathead Ford, out of the Ford factory, under the Lincoln banner, where it's pretty stock standard for.
Has it all been gone through, the whole thing?
It's been gone through, and we're going to visit a 38 Lincoln Zephyr shortly, so I'll go through that story there. But it's got a V8 in it currently, a flathead V8 that we're going to yank and put this back in where it belongs, so we get that Lincoln back in V12 mode rather than V8 mode.
We have a machinist area, I would call it, I guess.
We've got a mill and a lathe, and but they don't get used in anger a great deal, though. They get us out of trouble when we need to.
It's got another bike up on the stand.
Yeah,
it's got a badass look to it.
The Bacon Dan Carr Petruzzi water-cooled knucklehead that we had some issues with a few years ago. Unfortunately, we blew a head gasket. It's a unique, I know the engine, I'm going to talk about the engine that's not in front of you here.
Yeah.
It's a panhead, Harley panhead that was used quite often for midget car racing back in the 30s, and a couple of guys, Drake and Joe Petruzzi, thought they could increase their performance levels by water cooling the top half of the standard panhead knucklehead engine, and built water bottle barrels and heads for them. So that engine's got some history back to midget car racing, and it had a short window where they used it because they went to war, and when they came back from war they started using inline fours, you know, Offenhauser and things like that. So yeah, a very unique engine which I can't show you unfortunately, but it's getting very close to going back in that bike.
Look at I love intakes, I love carburetors. You can see you got a tunnel ram there. What would this one be for? Do you know?
That's actually off a Hemi setup, so it's 392 Hemi setup. A lot of small block Chev stuff there that you can see. Some of it's been...
I spied it. I had to come over and take a look, that's all. That's cool.
It's all handy stuff for one day.
Awesome.
We use bits and pieces here and there.
So you have another shop you're going to show us?
Yeah, we got a little area out here where our dirty room where we do a lot of what you do, make sparks fly.
Well, you're a little ahead of what I do, but
I don't. No, stop that. This is just where we can
fabricate some metal,
grind,
get some shears,
sand, shear. It's all just.
Why is it so cool?
Stuff.
Why is it so cool in here?
That's a good question. But there is a big tree behind it, so I think it's putting some shade on here. But it's a drop in temperature here. It's
quite
bit of
nice.
Storage, bit of hot rod gear storage. This is sort of leftover pieces for different projects that we play with it.
That's one of the biggest problems, is it not? When you start tearing into something, you've got so much stuff everywhere.
Well, there's Tully brand rear ends in there, so there's quick change hot rod rear ends. And
some 36 Ford
brake stuff. There's yeah, we've got some fin brake stuff in there.
Okay.
I'm just pointing at timber boxes, but that's a 39 3-speed top loader, double detent type top loader. That are destined in my mind for a particular ride, but I just haven't got there to put it in yet. But we'll get there, Chad.
Okay.
We can go for a walk.
Yeah.
To the next.
How did Crocodile Dundee say that we're going to go for a walkabout? Is that how it goes? A walkabout?
You had a knife like that. I know that.
Yeah, that's a knife, right?
That's one of Croc Dundee's knives on the left-hand end.
Are you serious? Yeah.
No, not really, but that would be pretty much what he had. Pretty much what he had. This is a Western Cutlery Company.
Jesus.
Bowie.
Yeah. I'll have to carry one of them around in my belt, huh?
We'll use that for our hamburgers later.
How about shaving my arms?
Without stock tape, that's like everything.
Sometimes when it's cooler in the winter time, we'll load this up on heap of timber and build a fire that's 20 feet tall.
Gotcha.
That's half of a centrifuge that they used. So if you can imagine another piece identical to that, they'd bolt them together on that flange, and that would spin at thousands of RPM. I can't quote the thousand, but it might be 15,000 RPM or something. They would throw wool after it's been shorn off sheep. They'd wash it, put it in there, and that would come out of that dry. Just throw the water off.
Good way to fill the dog dish.
Yeah, just need some rain.
That's pretty funny.
Now, just in case you need to, that water.
If I need to use the washroom, it runs through me. That's what you're saying?
That sparkling water. It must be close to a beer time.
Well, there you go. Look at that now, would you? There's quite a setup now.
You can hit that gas pedal and make that speedo move.
I could almost wash my swamp ass in there. Isn't that cool?
We've obviously got too much time.
Oh, a little hand wash, huh?
Oh, yeah. All about the hygiene, Chad.
All about the hygiene, is it? It is nowadays, is it not? I like to get some metal from there.
This is pretty cool. Feel that. And it just lets air in and that fire goes off.
I betcha.
Cactus. Here's a bit of a hot rod garden.
Okay. This is called a hot rod garden if you've never seen one. This is it. Geez, I see a few things. Yeah, that's cool. I like the seats.
Look at the 36 toolbox.
Yeah. Right on.
So like I was saying, we run a business from a couple of buildings. This one we're walking through. Oh, we can check that out later as well. We're living in a nice part of Queensland here. This is Hummerstone Passage, which separates the mainland from Bribie Island.
Okay.
It's one of two islands in Australia that has a man-made bridge going to. So Bribie Island and Phillip Island in Victoria.
Right on. There's some barrel seats. I see the use of that quite a bit around here.
Yeah.
Yeah. The barrel seats, pretty cool.
Quite an easy way to get yourself a seat.
Oh wow.
You may recall the Galaxy.
Yes, this thing's badass. This thing ran so smooth down the track. That was quite something. Yeah. Oh man.
Both the Willys and the Galaxy were flawless that weekend. Very easy, just jump in and race and park them
64 Galaxy 500. What's the engine in it?
So it's got a stroke 460, so it's 520 cube.
And if Jolene wants to just take a walk, look at the interior in it. Got a so comfy, and it's got a shift. It's got a shifter in it I've never seen before.
Yeah, it's got a cool shifter. What's the brand of that? I can't think of it. It's written on the side of it. Oh, they're going to hate me. But yeah, real cool shifter. May end up being a 4-speed. I got a bullnose top loader there for it. It's a 3-pedal car still. It's still got everything's ready to go for the clutch. That'll be a lot of fun with a 4-stick.
Is this your 36?
36, yeah. Little slight hot rod lean on it.
I'm just shaking my head because I like it. It's just like, wow, nice.
Let me.
So this car has not been done?
This is original paint still. It's just got a 4-inch drop axle, still the 21 stud flathead in it, 3-speed top loader. Interior, open the door up, you'll still see all the cranky old interior.
Come take a look, Jolene. Absolutely fabulous. Absolutely fabulous.
You can see
And it's black too.
bit of darning work done here.
So is that like
years ago.
police? What's that say?
That's a police issue
special.
speedo. Yeah, you can set that at, like if you want to knock a button on that at a certain speed, it will have a memory there. The needle will stay at that speed. So I guess they used that as evidence of what they were clocking at the time.
Wow.
But yeah, cool little police speedo. Stuart Warner style police speedo.
Non-chopped, original paint, doors shut.
Still got all the timber in it under the seat, so I can flick them up. But that's all that timber's still there. Little flatty, great little cam in it. And,
Big, nice
it does
wheels
some
on it. Yeah, done.
Kelsey Hayes, yeah. It's destined for one of these Frenzel superchargers. Mates of mine have, that's a historical supercharger from...
So you want to put one on this?
Yeah, just a little two, maybe 3 PSI.
Yeah.
Won't have to really do anything to that engine. It'll just make it pop nicely. So yeah, look these guys up. Australian guys, Queensland
There's
guys.
a supercharger.
I think Queensland. Gee, I wonder if they live over the border. Anyway, Timmy.
So this car, where would you have acquired this car?
This came from Carolina.
Okay.
No, South Carolina. South Carolina. A little town called Greer.
Never been there.
G-R-E-E-R, I think that's how you
I like your
spell it.
tire setup on all your car. I like
Bigs
your
and
wheel.
littles.
Your
Yeah.
wheel setup is nice.
Bigs and little Firestones.
And there's always a place for a white wall, and there's always a place for a black wall.
Yeah.
Is there not? This is really gangster looking. I think this car is gangster looking for what it is.
We do some reliability runs. These guys are good value, mates of mine too. Put on a little run every year where sort of invite only and all traditional hot rods, and basically we do a 300 or 400k run around Queensland or New South Wales and stay the night. And
So this is, wow, this is the car that you want to put that engine
a
in?
V12, 1938 Lincoln Zephyr.
What does it have in it now?
It's got a flathead V8, so
Okay.
an 8BA. It was quite a... So this the little background to these is in the day something like this was like about $800, and there you go. And the Lincoln Continentals are about $4,000. So Edsel Ford's going to pop. Dad, there's such a big gap between, you know, a Ford Deluxe or standard. This is a standard actually,
Yep.
but to a Lincoln Continental, we need a range in the middle there, and these came in, you know, in the mid to late 30s, 36, 37, the Lincoln Zephyr range, and they thought they might hit a whole new market, or some of these blue collars would come up and buy them.
Yeah.
What actually took place was more often than not, the white collar guys already buying the Lincoln Continentals would buy a Lincoln Zephyr for their wife, for instance, and she would be driving that around, but they didn't. The two problems was, especially in a 3-window coupe, you got no visibility, so the women hated driving them because backing out of driveway, so you can't see anything, and also
Never thought of that.
they didn't rev them at all to the extent they needed revving, so they'd put them in top gear, they'd plenty of torque, and they'd putt around town, around the streets and everything at very low RPM. They blew them up. The oiling system wasn't sufficient to keep them well lubricated at very low RPM.
Right.
So when they yanked them, they got the quote for a V12 was double the price of the quote for a V8 at the time, so they often chose, you could retrofit the V8 in them. So a lot of these ended up with the V12 missing in this 38, 39 era,
Okay.
before they fixed that lubrication problem.
What a fantastic running board.
Pretty, isn't it?
Oh my, that is
I
some
should
pretty.
know his
that
name.
is
It's John somebody or other that was sort of
fantastic.
brought in to help Edsel Ford design it, and he's a, I don't know, European, maybe French or something. He's played a role in actually the appearance of the Lincoln Zephyr range.
Is this an original paint car?
Yeah, there's some
Yay.
patches. There's some patches. It's cranky paint all over it.
Jeez.
There's some patches where you can see over the years where it's been hit again, like a repair.
Yeah.
But this is 85% OG paint on this. There's some parts that are in less than ideal condition, but
They're the running boards.
we've put a bit of love into it to bring it back to here.
Yeah.
Just some elbow grease.
Yeah.
But that original paint, she's pretty hard, so it responds well.
Gorgeous.
I'll pop the hood on this. You'll see the V8 and a little kit they use to make the radiator work and everything with the V8. See, the radiator's still sitting up in the V12 position, but there was this sort of cowl set up so that the fan and
Could draw more
cooling,
air.
but the wiring harness, everything, the wiring harness was replaced in this a number of years ago, and it's done to suit the V12 because everything's a little bit longer to get up to your distributor and so on. So it's going to be a reasonably easy, I say that rolling my ovals, but really a reasonably easy job to put that V12 in and pull this out.
I hope so.
Yeah, let's see.
I hope so.
Let's see.
You got some really cool bikes here.
Two Triumph TT Specials, so rare in the Bonneville languages. They were built just specifically for flat track and hill climbing and enduro.
That's pretty. That's pretty how that comes out like that off the tank.
A couple of bike dealerships in the States, Johnson Motors was one of them, commissioned their POMs to build some TT Specials just for racing. So they came directly from England to the States with no speedo, no headlight, no indicators. The bigger, those carbies, those AML monoblocks are a couple of sizes bigger than the standard Bonneville.
Yeah.
12.5:1 compression instead of about 8.5.
Has this been restored?
It's been restored by a legend on the Gold Coast who we lost a few years ago. Bob Boschel. He
Did an amazing job.
Mr. Triumph, basically. I bought this one off him first. This is a 66 and the one behind me is a 67 model. The TT Specials are only built between 63 and 67 and they only built just over 1,300 of them. So pretty rare around the globe is an original numbers matching, on the engine and frame. TT Specials, the Triumph guys will know what I'm talking about there, but yeah, two beautiful examples. We've got a speedo and a headlight and stuff on that, so I can probably last longer on the street.
Do you have a bike license?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking get
Just
a
gives you
license.
something to lose, doesn't it? Sometimes not having a license is better.
We have no license or nothing like that, but we have a few bikes, and I think I want to get my license.
Just go for it.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. See what happens. We'll just take a walk outside. I see a couple more cars out there.
Yeah, we got
Check it out.
We got some cool stuff.
Little
out this
alligator skin going on there. A little pinball machine. All right.
side. Oh, where's Brad? We need Brad to talk to you about this 36.
So this is one of your.
This is Brad who you were talking about. I'll get him to talk to you about that one.
Okay. Yeah, I hope you got some Pantene put on the hood of that, did you, by falling over?
Yeah. The wind caught it, didn't it?
It did.
But that's okay.
Look at this now, would you?
Most of our stuff is a bit like that.
Holy rootin' tootin'. We'll just carry on. When Brad comes out, he'll give us a holler
Reedy, do
about
you
it.
mind grabbing? Oh, Brad's coming. Here he comes.
This is yours, Brad?
It is.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Yes, he says. Tell me about your car, man. I know what it is. It's a 36, obviously.
Yeah, 36 Ford 5-window. Yeah. My dad built.
You must be proud of him, aren't you?
Yeah.
Is it turned on? Can you hear it? Cool.
Yeah.
Is that out of the 59 taillight?
59 Cadillac. Yeah, we did the
That's cool.
caddy taillights.
Yeah.
And the idea was to mimic that. So these are the real pipes.
So they're live.
Yeah.
So you're getting.
Yeah, the noise comes out of there.
Yeah.
So that's the real exhaust. And yeah,
That's cool.
He bought this car as a $500 wreck.
Oh, is that right?
Came home in a box trailer. And yeah,
Did you make he made their own bumpers?
That is the original bumper.
Okay, he just.
But it's been split in the middle and reshaped and to fit in close to the body. Because on the original car, you would see on Kenny's that they're quite straight. So that was one of the things that he wanted to do, and he made the little indicator.
How many years has this car been done?
It was finished in 2000.
Okay.
So 20 something years.
Yep.
Yeah. It's all, he did the wood graining work inside.
Is that all done by hand, the wood graining inside, and then he painted it? Yeah.
He did it with a brush.
Okay, yeah.
And you lay down a couple of different base coats, and then you use a thinner's soaked brush and drag it over the top, and it drags the colours through. So it's got all electric windows, but they're all, as I was saying earlier, like everything on this car was apart from another car. Like there's, back in this era, like hot rods were built out of parts from other cars. You know, there wasn't any aftermarket sort of industry.
I think I have a few. I think I have a few cars that way.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. You have many. Yeah.
Awesome. So this is yours now. Your father has.
Yes, yeah. This is staying in the family, and I'll hand it down to my son after I'm finished with it.
That's awesome.
And,
awesome. Did you have any help in building this?
I did help out a bit. Yeah. Like I was an apprentice panel beater spray painter at his shop, and I did have some input into this car. I did all the pinstriping on it, like the pinstriping on the back there, and
so you can lay down the brush with a freehand that can?
I used to be able to.
Well done. Well done.
Yeah.
I'm sure you still can.
Yeah.
If you wanted to.
It's got a Toyota Supra 5-speed gearbox in it, and he converted the
one piece to it. Yeah.
One piece, so it opens from the front there.
Oh, that's nice. That looks nice.
Probably not super clean under there, but
no, that looks nice. I like how that's done. I like that.
Just a dual carb.
Yeah.
Flatty, and
I like these.
Yeah, Dad made those in the lathe.
Oh, those are cool.
Yeah. And this is a pretty trick item. That's the original sort of oil filter, but Dad had.
I'm gonna come over and take a look at the other side.
Yeah, he converted it to. That lifts off.
Yeah.
And there's a oil
filter inside.
So it's covering made to make it look like that. Yeah. It's got flat attack racing heads on it, which was an Australian.
Okay.
Australian
that guy also did an adapter for a 409 water pump, did he not? Instead of having a dual water pump?
He used to do a bit of flathead racing stuff. I believe he was into land speed racing.
Okay. Yeah, them were cool.
Yeah, Dad made them in the lathe.
Them are cool.
Yeah, and he like little things like
I wonder how many hours be invested in something like that.
He probably mucked around for weeks.
That's what I'm saying. Like, no one understands.
Little jinky lathe that he used to make things on.
Understands the hours that we'd be putting something that to make that look, a little bit more special. Yeah. You've got a 36 Ford hubcap on, then you've got another hubcap on top of that hubcap.
So the wheels are the original centers fit into a later model rim. So he wanted to keep the original 36 Ford centers and the same on the back. So it's got a 8-inch rim on the back, and I think there's 7s on the front.
It's beautiful.
It's all painted in acrylic, like the old school acrylic lacquer, and it's got the sunken areas like.
Right on. Yeah. Even got the little hole drill in case they filled up with water.
Yeah, it's got a drain and everything. Like Dad was very particular about that type of stuff. We used to get a bit of a laugh at car shows and stuff because people would say, "How come there's two?" And Dad would say, "Well, you got AM and FM, one each."
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
But no, it's a beautiful old car. I don't plan to do anything.
Should have told him because I didn't want to put 3.
Yeah. I'm just going to maintain it and keep it going, and it's been sitting sort of unused a bit for probably the last 10 years. So.
Are you running it now a little bit?
Yeah, I'm driving it now, so a few problems of sort of...
Isn't that old cars?
Yeah, when they sit for a bit, they don't like it. You got to keep driving.
That's old cars, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Man, this is awesome. Love it. Father did an awesome job.
I've got a little seat that goes in the back. My kids...
behind them, okay.
Yeah, it's not in there at the moment, but like a grandkid's seat.
He's got a nice piece of wood going across the back there. That looks good. Yeah. Well done. Awesome. Yeah. You guys have to have seat belts too, do you not?
We do, yes. Yeah.
Beautiful. What about the cap?
Yeah, it's just an aftermarket thing you could buy, But you can see on the front there the bumpers were.
Yeah. Dad's 36.
Yeah, I just managed to chase those plates just recently, so.
Yeah, you have to do a special kind of deal with that, do you not? You have to write in and see if you can get it or not?
Yeah, that's right, yes.
Cool.
So, yeah, it's a nice old car. I just want to keep it the way it is.
Quite a bit of work just to put the hinges on that hood,
he
eh?
made all that, yes. Yeah.
Well, I mean, let's face it. That takes quite a bit of work to do that.
They've got drains in them too.
To get that to work.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you put that hood down, and make that go in the right spot.
I remember he made it on made a pattern on a piece of cardboard.
Yeah.
And I remember like it was all drawn on cardboard, and then he cut it out and sort of bolted it together out of cardboard. Yeah. And then made sure it would work, and then he converted his cardboard pattern into steel. So. Yeah.
Awesome. This man here was the man that had part to do with the Willys Jeep, with the Willys front end on it, and the Willys Jeep, and that was cool, the green one.
Yeah.
All right, we're on to another one. Gonna give the mic to Kenny, are you?
Yep.
Kenny, gonna talk some more?
Thanks for that.
No worries. Thank you for showing me. So what do we got here, Kenny? A race car.
Little T-Track Roadster. Yeah, dating back. I'm not sure exactly what year it was put together, but pretty early. Came out of a collection in the States by the name of Stan Labritz. It's known as the Labritz T-Track Roadster. So it's got some race history back there.
Jolene has to come in close here for a second. Jolene does a little flathead racing in Pine Tree, and she wanted me to make a shroud for the transmission. And I said,
went one better.
And I said, what for? There's no shroud on that one, is there?
If you look closely, that's chrome too back in the day. So I don't know what the history of that 3-speed top loader is, but somebody went to the effort of chroming the housing, can you believe?
Yeah.
It's a tough little flathead.
That's so cool.
How about I kick it in the guts?
And what do you mean by that? Why?
I'll show you. That's cool.
That sounds good.
Got a good little tang in it. It's like an XT400 possibly.
Awesome.
We had it running a couple of hours ago. It's not cold, but
that's awesome. Now the aluminum piece that's hanging underneath there, that's where the feet go and shit, so you can get your feet down in there?
Yeah, your floor well there.
Yeah, okay.
It's actually reasonably comfortable, although reaching the brake pedal, I'm pretty pleased it's got this, so you can take your pick of which one you want to use, but racing this one around, we have a beach event down in New South Wales called Rattletrap, and this has a wonderful time down there at Rattletrap. It's coming up later this year, and it's one of the events that we look forward to taking part in.
Just
beach racing.
Just another one that I think is fantastic.
You'll have to come back for Rattletrap.
Wow. All right, let's take a walk over here and check these out, man. Wow.
This is the Bomb, the first one we're coming to, a little Model A on some 32 rails. As far as I can tell, and I've looked back as far as I can, it was hot rodded really early in the 50s, which is early for Model A. Yeah. Found dilapidated in a ditch in the 70s, and then pulled back out for a second go. Rich Oakley, American Retro Rides by Rick, I think they called it. He did a number on the Bomb, and that's sort of where it got christened the Bomb, and it's been the Bomb for decades now. But
I can tell you one thing, it's a good thing you've got a fence, because everybody on this road would be stopping if you know.
The fences are good.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder though what you're driving past when you tour the roads, there's some incredible stuff behind fences, isn't there?
I like the headlights.
Yeah, the little E&Js.
Yeah. I like your fibers extinguisher. It's Ford Motor Company on that. That's cool.
Yeah.
Famoco.
I've put an accent on it from ourselves over. This is one of the cars I've had the longest, actually. This is going 15 to 20 years.
Okay.
We put a lot of little things on this. It looks similar to when I got it all those years ago, or the different guards. Ian Splatt built these guards for me. He's a hot rod legend in Australia from Dragway.
Okay.
Manufacturer of some early.
That's pretty cool.
Rims.
That's really cool.
That's a bit of Ed Roth there, isn't it?
Yeah, I never got to meet that guy. I wish I could have, but I never got to meet him. He's someone I look towards for sure.
Actually, see these indicators here?
Pistons.
So this engine right here is the donor for those rods and pistons.
Oh, well done.
So if we slip those heads off, there'll be 2 pots that are empty. The rest will all have pistons in them.
Cool.
But these came out of that, gee, that's 10 or 15 years ago. Actually, and how we mounted them here, Chad, is on the big end.
There's a socket.
It's just an impact socket, yeah. So I went into the tool shop and with my conrod, sat on the floor with all the sockets into it till I found the right size I wanted and said I'll take 2 of those. And,
nice wheel setup. I like the wheel setup on it.
More of those Firestones, hey?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's another easy car to drive, and we're getting out and about in that when we can.
Got a nice
another made up
going.
the Sunshine Coast. Chris O. Hey, Chris,
I love the gauges in it.
He did the roof. Yeah, Stuart Warner all through it.
Yeah.
But it didn't have this roof.
You're not messing around. You're not messing around.
When I got it. Thank you.
Let's check this one out.
Quicksilver, this one. What can I say?
Handmade.
Wow. Handmade. So we had Frank Sinclair in Victoria, Seaford, sort of near Dandenong. It's down south from here.
Yeah.
2010, they put a good year, maybe nearly 2 years into this. Frank Sinclair and Richard Nosk. Frank was the builder, it's his car, but he called in a mate of his, Richard Nosk, to do all of the tin work. So there's about 700 hours of aluminium fabrication in this.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Inside and out, every bit of aluminium you're looking at. And what you realise, you'd realise it, see those it's got a cowl steering, it's got a Schroeder steering box underneath with a cowl steering.
Okay.
So that little bell cowl that's over that steering,
yes,
that's like the 3rd one that they built, because 2 were fails basically, and that just becomes shed hangers. So when you look at a car, I mean, I'm talking to the converter here, when you look at a car like this, you're not actually seeing all of the hours invested, because a lot of it doesn't make it to the car. A lot of it's just either in the trash or hanging on the wall as good but not good enough sort of thing. So it's a credit to them to come through and finish a car, like, because out of every 100 that it gets started, only about 5 of them get finished. There'd be a lot that just the patience needed to build a car from the ground up. It's an original Model A chassis that's severely zetted.
yeah.
This whole section here is modelled off a Model T. In fact, these doors would bolt onto a Model T, but it's about 5 inches wider through the middle here to give the operators some shoulder room. Basically.
What a beautiful dash! Like, I like how they sprang it out and then beautiful.
This is being grafted from a boat of the era, like an early boat. Aluminium windscreen shield that then they've cut and shut to make it fit this cowl. I've got a video with them fabricating everything. So there's a timber buck they made for that cowl and laid that aluminium over there and got to work.
Amazing.
As you know, a lot of hot rods, like Salt Lake races, they pinch stuff off the farm. So that's made to the dimensions of a Fordson tractor fuel tank.
Okay. I owned one before. I bought one.
So a lot of them are Petro Keros. So they'd have the 2 cells, but they were basically, so they built an aluminium one, but used the original size spec to mimic it, basically. This is quality all over though. This has got a belly pan and interesting diff center. That's a magnesium, that's a Hallebrand magnesium non-quick change. I was surprised when I found out that people were tracking me down to see if I would be interested in swapping that housing, that centre housing, for a quick change.
Yeah.
Because it's more sought after in how rare it is.
Yeah.
I can only take.
I'm going to take a piece of round rod and weld it on the middle and make a couple pieces, and then and paint it. That's cool. You know what I'm saying? Like piece of round rod and put it around there on an original one.
And mimic it up.
Yeah. That's the kind of guy I am. That's absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. Hats off to the guys who made it. That's for sure. Hats off.
This
awesome.
Took to Coralban about 2 Coralban car events ago.
Yeah.
So Zach and I jumped in this and rode it all around Rough Downey and so on that run.
Beautiful.
Interesting 4-speed top loader. So this has got like an Aussie 4-speed top loader that would be in one of our XY, XW, around early 70s GTs or any of the Falcons. But the difference with this one is there's a guy, racer called Alan Moffat, that raced Mustangs at the time. He built these 4-speed top loaders out of magnesium and aluminium, the housing, to race them in his Mustang, but they wouldn't sanction them as race worthy, basically class them as cheating, so he wasn't allowed to run with them. And Frank Sinclair, the builder of this hot rod, found that gearbox in New Zealand and brought it back over here for this car. So it's got a very unique 4-speed gearbox in it.
Wow. That's all I can say is wow.
Very light. You can carry it under one arm.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
So that was the main reason they built them for racing, just the lightweight.
Alrighty, we're going to switch over here now. We got a Hemi with
another 392 Hillborn 4-port. So this is a late 60s chassis that never made it to the track. A lot of teams back in the day, at the beginning of the season, would purchase 2 chassis in case they crashed one.
Right.
They could move everything over and still continue racing in a reasonably short time frame, because the chassis is one of the more difficult parts of the race car to acquire in a hurry. So this one wasn't called upon in the day, and so it never raced. So it went through decades of just being mocked up and put in a diner or a museum or things like that. About 10 years ago, a Californian, well, an ex-Kiwi, well, it's a current Kiwi, Squeak Bell, came across it and built this front engine dragster, and he got it certified at 7.5 seconds. So it actually went through all the rigmarole of being able
It's a real race car.
Yeah, but it still hasn't gone down the track in anger.
In anger. Check out the front steering.
Yeah, that's the boomerang steering.
That's cool. That's cool.
Pretty much off the farm, but that's how they rolled back then, and they had a lot of fun.
That's weight, obviously.
That's just some weight for your setup. That's fuel that you're walking past now. You're sitting right with a diff behind, sort of back of your knees. It's it feels more comfortable in there than it does looking in there, but we're hopefully Coralban 2024. What's that? Coralban 5? We'll have this down there and we'll be able to make some noise for the first time on the track. We did have it there once just as a crackle car, so just a start-up and static display.
When Juice went down, that really rocked the place, didn't it?
Yeah, well, let's see if we can get it there for Coralban 5.
I think we're in God's country. That's beautiful.
Let clouds come over now.
It's beautiful.
But yeah, front engine dragsters are a thing of beauty as far as I'm concerned, and to see them actually run though is where all the magic happens, and you see a rooster tail of smoke coming off these tyres. Unfortunately, a lot back in those 60s era didn't see the next day at some of the meetings that they attended, so they've slowly worked out that they were losing too many mates and put the engine around.
Just these wheels are hard to come across, aren't they?
Yeah, magnesium Halliburtons.
Jesus.
Well, they ended up putting those engines behind the driver as it is to this current day. So
Now, do you have to put this stuff all the way here in Australia at night time? Like,
yeah, we've put it out here. All of this that you've seen that's out now has hidey holes. But,
okay, hidey holes.
I thought it'd be nice to walk around. I mean,
Yeah.
Queensland sunshine instead of being tucked into a shed.
You got a nice little Chevy here, just sitting there.
Zach. Here, Zach, you can tell Chad about about Utah.
I take it you're the owner.
Yeah, I'm the
Awesome.
owner. Good to see you again.
Yeah, good to see you again, man.
Yeah, originally from Utah Desert in the States, and someone brought it over here about 6 years ago, and pretty much limped off the truck, and I got it rolling as you see here today.
Yeah.
So pretty much all original.
So you just kind of washed this thing down?
Yeah, just washed it down.
Clear coated it?
No, just wax.
Just wax. That's a cool little truck.
Yeah, so I just kept it all original. Just cleaned it up. Still got original 235
Put a nice
engine in it.
Yeah.
Maybe one day I might drop it on the grass. Might be a cool truck to do that, and up
Yeah,
the
that's
engine to
cool.
a V8. But I just love the patina from being a farm.
Yeah, I'm getting it. Yeah, I'm getting it. Yeah, I'm getting it. The patina thing is really good because you can just go over the mechanics, get
Yeah.
them running again, leave it the way it was.
Yeah, that's it.
That's where it's at, eh?
Yeah.
And on some projects now, like, I mean, let's face it, some deserve a shiny coat
Yeah,
of paint, but this thing here is
exactly.
like, it's quite something else.
Yeah. It's got a lot of history to it, being
Yeah.
on the farm. And
So what did you have to actually do to it? Just
just go over it, get it all brakes.
did you tear it all apart? Did you tear the box off and all
No,
that
just
stuff?
got it all working. Got the engine running nice and smoothly. Just all the fine little details.
Yeah.
And just the seat so you don't fall through, and
Just the seat you don't fall through. Cool.
doors weren't latching on.
Yeah.
Little bonnet. It's pretty stock in here too.
Right on. Wow.
So just, you know, your normal maintenance stuff.
Yeah.
Leads and plugs and. But no. Just want to just jump in and use it.
There you go.
That's what you want.
Awesome. 57 old pickup.
57.
Yeah. Original caps on it.
Yeah.
White walls on it.
Yeah.
It's an awesome truck.
Thanks.
Awesome. Yeah. We're just going to take a walk in here for a second. Let's just take a walk in. This is the bombshell. We're just going to take a walk through and we'll pick some things out on the wall that these are adapters for different engines. You can put, what, 3-speed standards behind them? Or
Yeah, correct. All flatheads, different eras.
Yeah.
Some are pressed steel, some are cast. This is sort of where I might pick something at a swap meet or
I get it.
find something, and rather than putting in a box where you forget where they are,
Yeah.
you put them out like this and they're in front of you so you can remember, oh, I can use that here,
Yeah.
use this there.
The artwork's pretty cool.
Yeah, Aiden Jacoby. That's their originals. There's a lot of originals in here. That's an original.
Yeah.
These 3 are originals. I thought Aiden was trucking his head in here today, but he still may. But you met Aiden at Coralbin.
Aiden is the guy with the glasses. He has 57.
No, Aiden's got that little, it's fiberglass, but it looks like tin, that little,
Yes.
Model A.
Yes, I know you're talking about now.
yeah, that's Aiden. So he's the artist that did all this.
Okay.
Everything you're looking at here. And
Oh, wow.
a big majority of the artwork on the ceilings here is from Aiden. He's
Oh,
very
wow.
talented.
Like you said, he does art and stuff like that. And, you don't really know how talented till someone is till you see the art in person,
Yeah.
right? Now that I see the art, remember, you know who Aiden is? Yeah. I actually owe him a beer. I never got him a beer, but I never had any money in my pocket to get him a beer. So
Our currency's often beer here. He's been
nice.
drawing since he was a teenager. We have a magazine, a muscle car magazine here called Street Machine. Yeah, I'll have one of those.
All right.
the beer assistance here.
Oh, look at that, Jolene. Huh? Did you that? Look at that.
And so Aiden's been drawing for magazines for decades, and to this day still go to a hot rod show and do some drawings. A lot of the artwork on the roof here, or the ceiling, is from art that he's done for the magazines, so on. Or he's done a lot of artwork just for us, ourselves.
I'm really
T-shirt artwork and stuff like that.
Oh, all this is his?
A lot of it.
Okay.
Yeah, everything I'm looking at right now is his.
Okay. Well done.
Here's Dougie Pooh. Remember I explained to you about that?
Yeah.
That 53 panhead. That's Dougie there
Okay.
from back in the day, and that signed picture.
The 1%er.
That's him.
Yeah. Look at all that. Nice.
That's all Aiden.
Yeah. Well done. This little thing down here.
That's our mate Steelo. He's got a warped brain that delivers things like what you're pointing to.
A warped brain. That's funny.
He's a good kid though, our mate Steelo.
I have one of those.
You know Crafty B?
Well, someone sent me one of those.
So, yeah, there's this guy on pretty big following on socials called Crafty B.
Okay.
He makes gas caps, you know, like for race sort of.
I think I have one of those too, do I not? I gotta put it on.
Not like that at all, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Flange mounted gas caps. But he makes a hell of a lot of it. Yeah, Quicksilver's got one.
That's cool.
That's more Steelo.
The guy with the warp brain?
Scrapper the dog.
What was
Obviously
that?
a boy dog.
What would that be for? That a shifter?
That's for a suicide shifter on a ratchet top Harley gearbox. So one down behind your leg there, you know.
Okay. I don't know, but I'm taking
So
your word
that
for
bolts
it.
directly to a ratchet top 4-speed, Harley 4-speed.
Right.
Instead of using foot controls or tank controls, you just go straight to the gearbox with, that's the right pattern to bolt straight onto the ratchet top.
Right on. I like all this stuff, this bottle stuff, oil memorabilia.
You used to get it.
Hard to get.
Nothing now. People
Hard to
want
get.
$1,000 a bottle. Hey.
Well, yeah, I would never pay that for a bottle, but
me neither.
but there's some.
You see them for sale. So I've had a big history with petrol Bowsers, and there's some older ones here. Clock face one.
I've heard tell a lot about the clock face one. They're very expensive. That's cool.
I usually stay away from duals because singles weigh the size, you know, amount of a house anyway. So I'd hate to lift a dual. But a lot of people empty them out so they're easier to move around.
That's quite a coach set, that is.
Yeah, what do you reckon?
It's made for the Queen.
Isn't it? You want to take this home? She's a big lift.
Oh,
There's
man.
Yeah, don't know the exact history, but I believe it was a police auction, proceeds of crime.
And the mob boss owned it.
It looks like it,
Doesn't it?
There's a bit of a backstory there, but you don't know what to believe these days. But,
That's true.
here's the starter setup for that front engine dragster.
We received a, what's it called? Golden Fleece oil can from a gentleman from the car show yesterday, and I want to thank him very much. I'll take that home, put it right on the shelf. So happy with it. It's awesome.
That piston above your head's what you'd find inside that Hudson.
Okay.
And the conrod for it is here, big.
That's quite a size. Yeah, it's quite.
That's the parrot beak scoop.
That grabs the oil.
That grabs. It goes through a tray which has in the sump, and that pressure that makes enough pressure to get it to the little end.
You serious?
So that's how all those early engines were lubricated.
Yeah.
Just from the parrot beak scavenging pump out of the sump, oil out of the sump.
Like I said, we got that. I think it's 17, is it not? Studebaker from Jim. I have no idea anything about it, but we're going to soon learn, and I can't wait to make something like you've got out there. That's nice. Wow.
The sign.
Yeah.
This is some cool stuff I'll find at swap meets, so that's like an air blower nozzle.
Yeah. Could have used one the other day, couldn't I?
And then I'll just helicoil it and put a shift knob on it and helicoil it for the other end. Here's another one, similar, same sort of deal, made out of a hose sprayer, sprinkler.
That's cool, yeah.
So are these,
You would never...
I rotate them.
That's nice.
Yeah. So that just started off life like this.
That's nice. Yeah, that's nice.
Is that similar to what you would have had from your grandma's place?
Yeah, probably. You swing that around, hit your brother with her.
That's it.
That's nice. You go up on your shifter. That's nice.
Here's another example, an 8-ball, of course.
Yeah.
This is a tap out of a keg.
Yep.
Like a port keg or something.
Is that the valve of the Studebaker?
It's not. I can't tell you what that's out of, but it's one of those things you see and you go,
wow.
I'll lift that because that's a big valve. I'll
Yeah.
put that on display. So there's a mixture of stuff I just like that is out here, but also a lot of my parts. Like I could talk about where these parts have either come from or where they're going to.
Yeah. Just gonna keep walking around here. I see you got another nice big anvil.
Another big Peter Wright 305 weight. That's a beautiful anvil, that one.
The mobile oil station's pretty cool there.
These are the little watchdogs.
Yeah.
Bomb shelter. Made out of, you can probably see what they're all made out of.
Yeah. Headlight doors.
That's them.
Yeah.
Oh, and on the bar we've got something for you. You can take your pick and take your cup.
And some more art from...
This is Aiden's. This is on both sides of the wall here. These are all feature cars from the 1960s Australian Hot Rod magazine. So all these are home-built Australian hot rods. Some of them still running around. This one here's Johnny Parker's still rolling around in.
Fantastic.
So Aiden did a tribute draw to each of them and did put out 100, I think, did he? Or is it 50? No, it's 100, I'm sure. Anyway, this is set 21 of that. So, yeah, a cool homage to some Australian-built hot rods. Some of them very well known.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Jesus. You just don't know, do you? You just don't know until you see it.
Bit of earlier electronics, and electrical stuff.
Love it all.
Good old Hayden up there, the board.
Right on. Alrighty, I guess we're going to call that one number 2. I want to thank everybody for coming back. I basically was not ready for what we've seen, but I hope that you enjoy. And if you like it, comment. If you want to, you're going to comment, you might as well share. If you're going to share, you might as well subscribe. And we got one more thing to show you. There you go. Huh?
And can you take one of these home too?
Look at that now, would you? He wants me to take one of those home. I'd be honored to take one of those home, hang on the wall.
We'd love you to
That'd be
support
awesome.
one of these in the shop. You can take your pick out of colours. Or
awesome.
That's our little group of freaks that love and enjoy this stuff.
Well,
it's been great having you.
I would call you, what can I say?
Freaks okay.
Freaks okay? No, I would. I got better words than that. An ambassador of the hobby. That's what I would say. You know.
Doing my bit, bud.
Well, yeah, you know, the things that we're seeing, the things that you're keeping and saving, the history that you're keeping, and all that stuff. I got to thank Kenny for the show. We appreciate it. I'm just kind of blown away right this second. I'm gonna have a beer with my Queen Jolene, and
a hamburger.
See you tomorrow.